Hello everyone, welcome to another motovlog on my channel. My name is Marshall3498. In today's motovlog I'd like to talk about is motorcycle topic as usual on my channel. And that topic is something related to adventure bikes. Really particular one bike versus another, head to head, so to speak. And those two bikes I think are in a lot of ways really close, but a lot of ways a little far off, but close enough I think for, you know, not only my comparison, but I've noticed a lot of people comparing this too. The more I look at it, they are, and this is just kind of my take on that, not really copying anybody's videos, but this is, you know, something that I know a little bit about, at least one of the bikes anyway. And comparing those two bikes are the KTM 790 Adventure S, not the R, and the coming soon to a dealer near you any day now. At least we'll see the new Yamaha Tenere 700, not the Super Tenere, the 700. And you know, late last summer, I rode the KTM Adventure S. Although I was impressed with it, I didn't necessarily love it. I didn't hate it. There were some things about it that I liked, some things I disliked. Not very many two gripes, but just seemed like an awful lot of bike. Of course, it is a KTM after all, for what you're getting. Granted, I know KTM faithful out there love their KTMs. Not harp on your brand at all. But, you know, of course, it depends on what kind of deal you can get. But basically, at least, you know, if you pay full retail for both bikes, the money difference are about right at $3,000 difference. And for $3,000, if you look at it like this, yes, the KTM does have more gadgets and little features and stuff like that that, you know, the Yamaha doesn't have. But I think the Yamaha, you're getting a simpler, more raw bike, something that can maybe be serviced, especially if you was to happen to have a really bad off-road accident, at least a minor just tip over, you know, trail-ish speed, you know, 15, 20, 25 miles an hour. I think if you were to have an accident, that would be a simpler bike to fix. Trailside, maybe not. But the KTM is definitely a more sophisticated, you know, really tech-inspired bike with a lot of, you know, complex, you know, not only wiring harness, but sensors and lots of other stuff. You know, big, huge TFT screen, stuff like that. But I just really feel like for the money, at least, of course, I'm a big Yamaha fan. Those of you who watch my channel know that. I feel like for the money, you could put, you know, crash bars, auxiliary lights, luggage rack to carry soft or hard luggage, whatever your preference is. Maybe do a little bit of suspension work as far as making the suspension better, if that's is kind of one of your needs. I feel like you could do that and put a skid plate on it and ride the absolute snot out of the little Tenere 700. But granted, I know the KTM makes more power, but you know, if you're doing a mix of 50-50 or even you know, 70% on-road, 30% off-road, I think either bike will suit you just fine. I've ridden the SV07 a couple years ago to Yamaha Demo Day, which is the same motor that's in the Tenere 700. Very smooth, very predictable power. Not a lot of power. I mean, enough power to get the job done, enough power to make the bike fun, but not so much that the bike wants to just absolutely kill you if you do something stupid, especially off-road in a more gravel environment. Yes, I know the Yamaha doesn't have traction control. I know the KTM has traction control, has all, you know, adjustable levels of traction control, all that stuff. But, you know, you have to ask yourself this. By the time you outfit the KTM with accessories, by the time you do the same thing with the Yamaha, are you really getting that much better bike? I mean, yeah, you kind of are, but it depends on what you're using the bike for and how much of an accomplished rider you are. If you're more light off-road rider like I would be, as far as in just, you know, fire roads, stuff like that, not really, you know, riding a really fast speed on adventure trails, as I would call it, which is more, in my opinion, at least that's what I would do with it, more just fire roads. I don't think that the limitations of the Yamaha stock suspension would really show that bad unless the road got really, really rocky. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't ridden one. But there is a Yamaha demo day coming up and pretty soon. And I'm going to try to ride one then and see what I think of it. I do know this, you know, the Yamaha motor is really smooth. The KTM motor, I was, you know, impressed with the motor. The motor's smooth. But like I said, I just don't know, you know, bang for the buck. You know, is it really worth that to you? You have to answer yourself that question. Like I said, I'm not saying the KTM is a bad bike at all, but, you know, can you really justify it for the type of riding that you're going to be doing with it is my thing. You know, are you just light off-roading? I don't think the Yamaha would be a bad choice at all. Neither bike would, but I think I would probably choose the Yamaha if it were my money. Especially, you know, you wait a couple years that the Tenere 700s are out. Maybe you can pick one up some used. Maybe somebody buys it and the bike's a little too tall for them and gets away from them and they sell it before they really, you know, lay it down, whatever, and the bike's still brand new and in good shape. Who knows? But, you know, KTM, it's going to hold its resale value like crazy because it is a KTM. Not that the Yamaha won't, but I'm sure that a couple years old KTM and a couple year old Yamaha, you know, since they're both at different price points anyway, I would think the Yamaha would be a little bit cheaper in the used market. You know, especially 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road. Yamaha would be a much cheaper bike at that point, while the KTM would be still hold on to some of its resale value like BMWs are. You know, they're great bikes too. And for that and their reputation, they hold their resale value. You know, like I said, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with KTM, but in my opinion, if I was gonna pick one or the other for a second bike, anyway, for my taste, or even somebody that wants to get away from, maybe they've done the whole touring thing that I've not really done very much of, and they want to get away from that, and they want to go, you know, go do dual sport and light off-road stuff. If they want to do that, then, you know, I don't think either bike would be a bad your only bike option. Depends on, like a lot of things, what I've noticed about the dual sport world. Depends on what your needs are for the bike. You know, if both bikes are too heavy for you on the stuff you're going to use it for, then you may even go smaller CCs. Maybe you're just not that big of a person, so you need a smaller bike, so you go a smaller bike for not only less power but less weight. Possibilities are endless. The whole dual sport thing and adventure scene is really hard to grasp because there's a lot going on there, especially like tire choices are nuts. But like I said, guys, that's just kind of my take on it, on which bike would be the better choice. That's totally up to you because it's your money and your motorcycle. Me, I know which one I would pick, even though I've not ridden the Yamaha, but I've watched lots of reviews on it, and they say, especially for the money, a lot of people say a lot of great things about you know, little Yamaha 700. So on that, guys, that's about all I got on today's video. If you've not already done so, hit the subscribe button, turn the bell on, be notified when I release new videos. Leave a comment down below, and like I said, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, opinions, comments, whatever, I'll be more than happy to answer them if I can. And on that, guys, ride safe and have fun. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.